So we're on our way to Santa Barbara to get married, and things are not looking good.
No, a few days before, we were actually seriously considering canceling.
Reason one being the obvious, the rain. If you check out the weather forecast, can you take a guess at which day we're getting married? Like, it doesn't really rain in Southern California, which is why we kind of felt pretty good about it.
We didn't have a plan B because of the nature of the venue.
Yeah, because it's an unpermitted spot that we're hiking out to, basically. The thing is, originally it was supposed to only be like a 10-minute hike out to the location, but when we checked on it a few weeks ago, the main trail had completely gotten washed away, meaning we had to find a detour. That detour means we're having to do like 45 to an hour worth of hiking round trip, and if it rained, we're gonna have to do it wet and through mud.
Yeah, in addition to the fact that it was going to be 50 degrees and 30-mile-per-hour winds, we definitely had some concerns on the guests getting out there comfortably.
And reason number two, when it comes to work stuff, the timing was just rough. We're getting ready to do one of our biggest announcements, which will be a week after the wedding. So, it's just a lot of work piled up. But the biggest issue is that about a week before the wedding, Chicky started having issues. Suddenly she started slipping all the time.
Completely stopped walking, and I took her to the emergency vet, and we spent the whole day there, did x-rays, found out that she has IVDD. We weren't sure if this was like the beginning of the end for Chicky.
And her being 14, if anything happens, it wouldn't really be a surprise.
Are we going to talk about how she couldn't go to the bathroom? I had to manually help her poop.
There's a lot of details we don't have to go into completely, but it wasn't easy.
We were heartbroken.
So that's why we were so close to canceling the whole thing. But we eventually had this long talk. Oddly, it was in the bathroom. And basically we decided, you know what, let's just make the best of the situation. Starting from getting Chicky out of the crate all the time, she's getting kind of depressed in there. Created this little contraption so she can roam around the bed, but she can't actually jump off, which would make things a lot worse.
Yeah, it's her favorite spot in the whole house.
It definitely helped when our parents started coming into town. They're just such a big backbone of support,
That really helped us not lose our sanity.
Carrie's parents are so supportive, like emotionally and mentally. And my mom's a florist, so she's coming here to do the flowers. We're running this wedding lean and mean, right?
Yeah.
This is a guerrilla style wedding. Our first stop was to check out the trail just one last time. And of course, there's even more problems with the trail because there's been more rain.
Even our detours were flooded out now, so we had to find a detour to the detour.
Finally, we found something that works, but it did require us to take a pit stop to Home Depot afterwards. Since we didn't have to pay for the venue, we were like, let's just get an awesome hotel
Baller room, yeah.
Yeah.
Our last 24 hours being fiancés, so...
Now, this is the first day of Chicky trying out this new medication.
Started on some prednisone, which is a steroidal medication, which can have some potential side effects, but so far she seemed to be doing okay.
When our friends started showing up, it was like, okay, now we really feel unstoppable.
Brought all the good vibes.
Any problem that we had, they were there to help. We actually didn't have any guests at our wedding. Everybody that came helped us
Had a
set up
job
the
to do.
wedding. Yeah. It was nice. Everybody was like helping with the dogs.
Yeah. That cart was a lifesaver.
So instead of having to carry Chicky all the way out, we wheel her out. And all the chores we needed to do, we had a little army following us to help. Like, it was so awesome.
Can you believe today's the big day already?
No.
This is your last day as Miss Kennedy.
I know. Oh my god. Be a whole new person.
Didn't it feel a little surreal that morning? It's like, oh wait, today's actually the day.
Yeah, it's so much planning just to get to that one day.
a wedding, PP. You wanted to wake up early.
Yeah, I wanted to soak in as much of the day as I could, and I wanted us to go have a nice breakfast and just not feel rushed.
It was like this all day.
I felt like that morning was oddly mellow.
It felt like a regular morning, like any other morning if we were just gonna go have breakfast.
Is that fun having my mom do the flowers?
It made it just so much more memorable and special. The succulents that were in my bouquet were ones that she grew from her garden that we're now able to propagate. So we'll always have those succulents from your boutonniere and my bouquet.
Oh, really? That's pretty
that
cool.
your mom grew herself at home. As soon as makeup arrived, it was kind of like game time.
Would you like to explain why you're holding a Coke bottle to your eye?
I had a bad reaction to my eyelash extensions, so my eye got all puffy. So I was desperately trying to get the swelling down. Where they had me seated to do my hair and makeup was facing the window where I could see all the trees blowing around like crazy. And they saw how much I was stressing out and turned the chair around to face the other direction so I
you
couldn't
can't see how windy it is outside.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm kind of in a panic all of a sudden. I'm starting to get ready, but I realize I'm getting kicked out of the room where I thought I was going to get ready.
Just couldn't go into the bedroom where my dress was.
So now I'm just like walking around Santa Barbara, carrying my suit and shoes and everything, going like, I need to get ready for my wedding. And then I just like barge into my mom's room, just start slapping everything on, disheveled. Well, luckily John and Leslie just got back and they let me get ready in their room, made sure I put on everything right. And that's where you gave me this like really sweet surprise of a pin with my grandma.
Oh, Baba.
You're really close to your grandmother, and I thought it'd be sweet to feel like she was with you on that day.
I kind of was raised by a single mom, and my mom always had to work, so my grandma was like kind of always the one that was there. And she passed away like 8-9 years ago, but she was definitely one of the most important people in my life growing up.
So you liked the pin?
I love the pin. It was very thoughtful. It's my mom saying like, oh, it's so nice. It's like grandma's here too. She would be so happy.
Yeah, that was the idea. I think you said you would have cried if people weren't around.
There was a moment where I was like, I'll hold it in.
Chicky couldn't come to the ceremony, so I wanted to have a little mini photo shoot with her in the room. Frank tried to do a shot where we were like looking at each other, but we couldn't do it because we both started crying. I said, we can't do it.
Oh, there's Sam helping out.
Sam was amazing that day. He was the MVP for sure.
But also, we're super late already. So we got to run to this spot to do our first look. And also, it's pouring again.
When I was waiting for Sam to pull up the car, and I remember people were walking by looking at me, and I think they were looking at me with pity, like, oh no, poor thing, she's getting married and it's raining. But one of the hotel staff brought me an umbrella, so that was really nice.
Also, we didn't realize that the spot we're all doing the meeting and the first look and everything, there's no reception there. Like, how are we gonna coordinate? So at this point, stress levels are high. Then all of a sudden, the sun's coming out. Oh my gosh.
It's really funny because the entire week before the wedding, my mom kept telling me, don't worry, watch, the sun will come out right when it needs to and it'll be perfect and beautiful. And I was like, yeah. But that actually happened. Is that that moment when I tapped your shoulder thinking, I'm with you now, so no matter what happens from here on out, it's gonna be great. I'm so glad at least Pete got to be there.
You just like sense how happy we were. Just like, pick me up. I want to be a part of this. It turned into a photo shoot for PETA, basically. Oh. I remember one thing my brother said was that planning a wedding is kind of like planning a shoot. And at this point, it kind of did feel like that a little bit.
I did feel like a producer.
Yeah.
Kristen and Frank were going crazy when the wind started blowing my veil around. They were like, oh!
It's like more wind. So we hike out towards the redwood forest, which is a little bit of a ways from any sort of shelter. And we start hearing a few raindrops, and then it gets stronger and stronger. And then all of a sudden it starts pouring. But what's crazy about all this is just the way the trees must have been formed over us. We were perfectly dry, like not a drop of water on us. And then not only that, a gleam of light just backlights the rain. It's hard to see rain on camera. This like amazing glow. It was just like, what, did Roger Deakins come and light this for us? And we're just looking at each other like, is this happening? Like, this is incredible.
It did feel very unreal.
So we head over to our next spot.
The meadow. And this was the one spot that I really wanted shots from.
There is no shelter there, so that means we're gonna get wet. Well, guess what? The sun came out. It was amazing. What? This is not real life.
We heard angels sing, ah, or we heard Roger Deakins sing, ah.
But looking at this shot, it's hard to believe that it was pouring like 10 minutes ago. It's, what? What is happening?
If we didn't have video proof, I don't know if anyone would believe us.
I know. Or maybe all our wedding footage is AI generated.
Oh no!
You know, I usually hate getting photographed, but this day it was kind of fun.
I was actually enjoying it and looking forward to it because I knew that they were getting awesome stuff.
We look pretty good there, huh?
We look damn good.
This makes me think that we should always be dressed up. This is how we usually look, you know? Just
hey, you said
chilling.
I look beautiful just the way I am.
You do, but we look sharp there. Dang. Look at that. Huge shout out to our photographer, by the way, Veils and Tails.
Kristen Smith. She does weddings and dogs, so it was like the perfect person to shoot our wedding.
Exactly, and she killed it. Amazing way to kick off the wedding. But now it is time to get to our wedding for the ceremony. We are still rushing a little bit because the guests have already arrived and they're starting their hike out to the ceremony.
Whoa.
Woo! Make up some time.
Let's not die on the way there.
Every time the wind blew, the veil went whoop, and just looked so much more epic.
I couldn't see the veil because it's behind me, but it was like flying.
We basically saved like $5,000 on a wind machine. Like,
oh, I love these shots of you holding my dress and helping me walk down the muddy path.
even though I did step on your veil.
So there was a little mud footprint on my veil, but I don't think anyone could notice.
You made it across our homemade bridge, and this is why we had to stop by Home Depot the day before the wedding to get those 2x8s so that people can do these little crossings. And we had one last pit stop to do our vows in private, and we did it privately without recording the audio or anything like that because we just really wanted it to be a very intimate and private moment between us.
For a second, I was wondering if I was going to be able to get through them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. But I will admit, you upped me on the vows.
here's where I'm telling you, like, you know how much I hate writing and reading a script, right? And you're like, yeah. So I basically made a 3-minute video, which were my vows. It's a little concerned that I was gonna come across kind of corny, but
No,
I
it
had
was
to-
not corny at all. I was over the moon, excited, because it was so you.
making videos, it's what I do, it's my craft, and it really does feel like the best way for me to express how I feel and what I'm thinking.
It was like the proposal. It was unique, and this is one of our favorite photos from the day. There's just so much emotion, and
Basically, it was just about how crazy it is that we met 6 years ago, totally by chance.
the smallest decisions can change your life.
Of course, it had a lot of the best memories that we've had together, but also a lot of some of the hardships that we have faced, and how much better I feel about our relationship, that we've been through a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and our relationship just comes out the other side just so much stronger every time. Just how lucky I feel and how much I appreciate every little thing about you. It's true love. It's like you love everything about the other person. We accept each other 1000%. The good things and the flaws and everything. Nothing can change that ever.
It could make me cry.
And I asked you what your favorite part of the wedding day was, and you said this moment right here.
My heart felt so full. I was blown away by your vows.
Anyways, all the guests have arrived and they're waiting for us.
But they've got Chris there playing some music, so they're just taking in the views.
They saw a whale and a rainbow that day.
Yeah. And it was windy, but it wasn't raining anymore. Everybody's cheering. Peter thought they were cheering for her.
Which they probably were. I'm so happy that Steve officiated the wedding too. Him and I have gone through a lot together. We've traveled to so many different places to shoot projects, and
He was the perfect person to do this for us.
yes.
I was just hoping that I didn't trip on anything on the way in.
The whole ceremony itself was less than 10 minutes. We kept it super short because we knew it was going to be cold and windy, but that 10 minutes was awesome.
Yes.
They have chosen to walk this path together, hand in hand, offering each other unwavering support, love, and respect. While their journey may not have always been smooth, they face it with a shared sense of optimism and a commitment to embrace both the sunshine and the occasional storm cloud. Do you, Jean, take Carrie to be your lawfully wedded wife, your constant friend and partner in all the adventures that life has in store for you?
I do.
Do you, Carrie, take Jean to be your lawfully wedded husband, your constant friend and partner in all the adventures that life has in store for you?
I do.
By the power vested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now seal your vows with a kiss or a gesture that holds personal significance to you. Congratulations to you both. And now guests, please join me in welcoming for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Jean and Carrie Nagata.
This was such a great moment.
Yeah.
We were on a high for sure.
And then you're like, okay, let's do the dip. I'm like, oh, we're doing it? Okay.
We didn't practice, but we went for it. No matter how the dip looked, as long as you didn't drop me, we're good. Best day of my life. How about you?
Best day of my life too. You told me that day that you finally feel like all that planning and the stress leading up to it, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
For that moment. We spent all that time just being so stressed about the weather, but it came out perfectly, and the wind was intense, but it made for some of the best shots ever. It looks like I'm kissing your hand, but really I think I was just trying to keep your hands warm. Like, it was such a great moment. Like, we were like, wow, we finished the ceremony and now we're just together, married. We promised ourselves to each other and it's party time. But first we have to take Chicky to the bathroom. You can tell that her hind legs were still weak, but definitely a lot better, which was like the ultimate wedding gift to us.
We were so happy.
We are still behind schedule.
We're late for dinner,
I know. It's been a pretty intense day.
and I want to see the table before people sit down.
I was really excited about dinner because it was at basically our favorite restaurant ever, the Lark.
And we were so excited to share it with everybody. So pretty. Oh, it's so beautiful.
You saw it, it started crying one more time. The room looks so nice with the flowers and the way you set it up, and everyone got like a leather name tag. It was so tasteful. My mom living her best life, taking a picture of the plants and eating the popcorn. That popcorn's amazing, by the way, and she's very camera shy, but my sister is not so much.
It was so great seeing everyone's reactions to the food as it came out.
We all got a 5-course meal. Oh, and Dylan had such an amazing speech.
If anyone was going to do a speech at our wedding, I'm glad it was Dylan.
Yeah, because he's a writer.
It's like Gene is like this sail that, finds all these like infinite adventures off in the horizon and carries like the ship that guides him into the right way. It's just this perfect couple that it fits. You don't even question it. It's just right. So cheers.
And honestly, going into all this, we were really planning on just getting eloped somewhere, just us.
I wanted it to be easy, no pressure.
But basically, we ended up going with a micro wedding, even though a micro wedding is actually under 60 guests, and we had only 20.
20 including us.
We really wanted to make sure we could spend quality time with each person. I'm sure having big weddings are fun in their own way, but for us, I'm really happy we did it that way.
There was a few people that said that the wedding felt very us. It went by so quick.
We blinked and it was time to go home already. The party kept going though.
Yeah.
And when we got back to the room, it's the happiest I've ever seen Chicky in a room full of people because she's very anxious. She doesn't usually like being around a big crowd, but when we all came in, this is the first time I've ever seen her in like party mode.
It's the prednisone, baby. You got that prednisone power. I know the prednisone.
She's on steroids.
It was a pee-pee party.
It was a pee-pee party. Continued throughout the night.
The next day, the celebration continued.
A celebration. And I love that.
You can always count on Sam to bring some good donuts.
Favorite part about this boat ride is that it was so epic, but basically it was paid for by not having chairs at the ceremony. Carrie looked into how much it would cost to have a bunch of chairs set out, and they just hike up the price on everything wedding related. So Carrie's like, screw that. We're just standing for the 10 minutes. And the next day we get a boat. Honestly, Carrie, you did such a great job planning the wedding, but also stuck to the budget.
I feel like the more you spend, the more pressure there was. So it's balling on a budget.
How can we not have a great time on a catamaran out in the ocean?
I know how a good time can turn into a bad time.
You mean like me losing my ring in the ocean?
Yeah.
But I was kind of hanging out with my mom on that net where you can kind of lay down, and I'm still just not used to having a ring on, so I'm just like fiddling with it. It falls off and goes straight through one of the few cracks on the boat where it just went whoosh, and I saw it go straight into the water, and I was like, no.
I cried. I was so sad.
And then we went back to that talk that we had, and I'm pretty sure you were in the bath and I was just sitting here, and we were so stressed out and we were so close to canceling the whole wedding and everything. But then we had the talk.
We said we were going to go into it expecting the worst and hoping for the best.
Definitely started with managing expectations because we were starting to put so much energy into this that we were kind of expecting like a perfect day, which is just not going to happen. There's too many variables out there. And by lowering our expectations to say like, hey, let's hope for a 6 or a 7 on that day, then even if it comes out as an 8, then we're really stoked about it, opposed to, expecting a 10, and every little thing happens and it brings it down to a 9, then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible,
And all your memories are going to be about how disappointed you felt.
But also we talked a lot about our mindset going into the day, and I think one of the things I personally learned from doing meditation for a little bit now is that you actually have a decent amount of control of how you think and how you feel and what your mind focuses on. And we decided to tell each other that on that day of the wedding, we are going to focus on how awesome the day is. And if anything bad happens, we're going to just be ready to like deflect it. Like, oh, some bad happens, Gene loses the ring because he's an idiot. Doesn't matter. We're not going to let it ruin the day.
Because you can't control what happens, but you can control how you react to it.
So the ring, you rebounded really fast.
I think so. I mean, I think I cried for only about 5 minutes and then I was good. It helped that my stepdad also lost his ring and reassured us that it's okay, that it's just
We all do it. We're just dudes. Like, what is this weird thing on my finger? Oops.
Yeah, but you broke a record because you lost it within 24 hours.
Actually, Frank was the one that said this is actually the 3rd time or something that he's seen this happen where people lose the ring right after the wedding. By the way, huge shout out to Frank for getting all this B-roll. I mean, he shoots weddings professionally and it really shows. He knows where to be, when.
Gives good direction.
And then we got back and it was kind of sad that it was all coming to an end. But honestly, it really hit me day after. We were just standing in the middle of the hotel room, just reflecting on the wedding and just holding each other. And I felt like we were just like in disbelief how our relationship really just went to the next level.
I don't think we thought we could love each other more, but then we did. I don't know.
I don't know why. It is hard to explain.
Teammates for life.
Teammates for life.
I was happy that you cried.
You didn't cry at the wedding.
Well, I did tear up a little bit, but I had to keep my
Barely.
composure. But when it was just us in the hotel
It's the
room,
one day that you're not expected to have composure, actually.
you wouldn't be saying that if I was ugly crying in all these photos. But that's the thing is, like, when it's just us, I feel like I can be
Vulnerable.
1000% vulnerable. Exactly. Then we went over to announce the tripod, and the response could not have been any better. On Instagram and TikTok, it's just like wildfire. I've never seen so much excitement about a tripod before. All these things that were really stressing us out beforehand, it all worked out so well. Like, it was like a miracle. And speaking of miracles, let's wrap this up with a shot of Chicky walking again without assistance. How amazing is this?
Still a little unstable and got a little ways to go, but
The progress has been incredible. That's it.
Go, Chicky.
Go, Chicky.